Talofa America Samoa, Ilinei Taiao Matangofia, le lofa malanga leo le atua. Alafa i mai fo I whanunga lelei, le lofa CCS. O le tatu prokalama fo Ilinei, o le Fale Lalaga, ma o se whaopoponga fo Ilinei, o le tatu prokalama o tu whaatasia, le tatu ofisa, o le American Samoa Visitors Bureau. Ia po o le ofisa fo I o le malo, o lo o tapena ina. Pisinisi la iti ia e mese fo I tangata tatu watunu. Ia mo I lātou o lo tafa mai tono se tatu watunu. O le nei prokalama o le Fale Lalaga. Ia manisi o prokalama tu whatasia le tatu ofisa. E te maua le tatu website o le americansamoa.travel. E mawhaifu e ona maua le nei prokalama, pa prokalama ese nei ofisa I lunga le tatu Facebook. American Samoa Visitors Bureau. Ale nei tai au, fia lava le tatu prokalama. Wheloa I fo I mase tasi o tina ia po awhawhine fo I o le atinu. Pei fo I o na whailo atu I steimi ua sola. O le nei lava prokalama. E whesoasoani lava mo pisinisi la iti. Ai mese fo I pisinisi o lo tauati ai. Ai mese fo I le whailoa I no tāleni ese o lo wha tāleni I nai tātou e le li. One of the goals for this program is not only to promote small businesses, but also to showcase the talent, the skills that our people have. It's very critical this time with COVID-19, but it's amazing that we still find people in our community who are willing to break out of their shells and to do something interesting. O mātou whaingoaina fo I le nei prokalama o le domestic tourism. O le nei la tai au, fia lava le anganga. Wheloa ai ai ma le tina le nā ia po le tuafine fo ia Diana Pelini. Good morning, Diana.
Good morning, boy.
Ia, wa tauwa ai mai la le tatou said I le nei tai au. Oka o ata ese. Ia ai mese fo ia luma nei le tatou laulau. Ia wai ai umalawa tūlanga o le atala noa tu ai le tuafine ia Diana e wina I lana pisinisi nei o le Downtime with Diana. Diana, what inspired you with this? I remember when we talked the first time you said that you just started in June.
Yes, so I started teaching and offering these classes in June, but I would have never picked up a paintbrush poi if it wasn't for the day. Maybe 3 years ago, I walked into my mom's house and she was painting with my daughter. So it was nice to see two people painting the same thing onto their own canvas board. I thought it was so cute that I ended up trying my hand at it. So I picked up a paintbrush then, and I just never stopped picking up a paintbrush ever since. And I got the confidence because I would share my paintings on social media, and I received a lot of good, positive feedback. So good that another inspiration, aside from my mom and my daughter painting that day, is my former Relief Society president of the Mesepa International Ward, Sister Luisa Quaya. Yeah. She had asked me.
Behind,
oh yeah, she's a very
department.
empowering,
the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah.
She's a very empowering, inspiring human being. I love her. She had asked me, "Do you think you can paint you think you can teach a class for our Relief Society?" So our Relief Society is made up of almost 30 plus women, and I was confident enough to paint, but I didn't know about teaching. But she told me, "You can do it. If anybody can do it, you can do it." So I was a bit nervous. Then at the same time, I was comfortable with these women. I go to church with them. They know me. I know them. So it was a very fun experience for those women. And to this day, that was about 2 years ago. So to this day, they still talk about, "I remember the first time I painted with you. It was so awesome. I'm so happy for you these days." Yeah, so Louisa Quayo, if she never asked me to step out of my shell and teach
Yeah.
this class, I wouldn't be here right now.
Okay, looking at the paintings, yeah, levo tato mai mua mai ile mana ia fo wata na saulia le tuafine a Diana. Diana, can you put that up? The Eiffel Tower. Now, judging from that painting, I could say that you learned this in college or while you were growing up.
You know what? I did
I
take
mean,
a
because I see
class.
the basics, painting and design.
Like I said, I didn't start my art interest until about 3 years ago. So there's so many avenues that we don't really have to go to school to learn. There's avenues such as Pinterest online and YouTube online. There's thousands of tutorials to teach people how to do certain things. And I just fell in love with it.
Okay.
I just never stopped. Yeah.
Pela le si nā tū langa le wai e tātou prokalama ma ua mai tau fo i tātou prokalama. O le tele i o ngā luenga ia po o tāleni ese un whai ana whai e tangata. Ia po tangata tala vau fo i po tangata matua. I le taimi lava le lockdown, Diana, can you think about, was it one of the reasons why you want to do this with COVID-19?
You know, boy, initially, I really wanted to host a huge event to sit maybe 40 to 50 people who are interested in sitting in a paint class. But then COVID-19 came and shut that idea all the way down. So I had to rethink. I had to recollect my thoughts and be like, well, if we can't have more than 10 people sitting in a place, what can we do? So I thought maybe I don't need to have a big event.
Yes.
Maybe I can just have a private, small event. And so that's how I started, with private, small groups.
And we saw that on social media. You started off with small parties. There were two parties that I saw, the one at Sadie's and then the one at Jade's. Talk about the age, the people, the age group that you work with at these parties.
So anybody can paint.
Oh,
if you have the materials in front of you, which I provide. I provide all the materials, the easels, the canvas boards, the paint brushes, aprons, so that you don't get paint on your clothes.
I have the apron on.
But if you're like 7 years old up to 70 years old, you have paint materials in front of you and someone to guide you through, you can do it. Anybody can do it.
So it doesn't matter the age group. Wow.
No, doesn't matter. I paint with my kids all the time. My 7-year-old is showing interest, and my 10-year-old, we have paint sessions very often in our house.
Whaafonga mai tatou atunu I le sanoanga fo ia a le sunga ia Diana. E le whaapea fo ia na o tupulanga talavou ia po whanau la haiti e mawhai o na vali ata nei e mawhai fo e tangata matatua. Ia a tonu fo iwa mai mua le tatou atunu o I lunga fo I social media po Facebook. I ngā luenga lava le tina ia Diana. O le ingoa le o lana pisinisi. Downtime guided painting events with D. I see the word guided. What's the difference between that and the one you just do in the classroom, Diana?
So I go step by step throughout the entire painting.
Everybody works at the same time,
we
right?
We start together and we finish together. But one important thing before we start painting, boy, I have to set the mood. I have to set the mood because, some people come to events and they're stressed because something happened. So I got to say, if anything
So what do you do? Do the music?
I provide the music.
Okay.
Music is very important also.
Yes.
So before we start painting, I have to talk to them and let them know if there's anything hindering them or is weighing heavy on their mind, let it go so you can embrace this experience. You will not receive the therapy and the healing that art provides.
Amen. O leisi la tūlanga o te fia I tele e whaalawiloa pia ngā luenga la wātisi. Because of the influence art has on our lives, ele ngata ile o mai e le whaamalo longa. I'm a whaifu I ona mawai le fia. there are some emotions that you don't get from doing other things,
Right.
but you'll get that satisfaction, particularly from doing art,
Yes.
singing, painting,
Yeah.
dancing, doing
Absolutely.
music. Yeah, if I don't know, that's what to know. So it depends on the group, and then you select the music, right?
Well,
And
I
I don't want to go into
only
the connection of the music and the painting.
I actually only play music from the 80s and the 90s.
Why is
It
that?
just takes you back to a good time, a good
Groove, huh?
feeling. Yeah. Pre-COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Pre-COVID, yeah. Ole si fo na fianga fo tatu prokalama. Awai moni lava ile ia o mai le whaamai. Ia ala o tere lava tangata lo whaia fo ile nei prokalama. Ia mai la tau lo a whaawau pe au nana. Diana, what's your advice to women? But I know women will love to go do bingo. And then there's some bingo the other whole week. And now we have the lockdown. And I just heard, driving here this morning, I heard the governor say, oh, no bingos. There's still, bingo. But won't you think this would be something that's more interesting
It's
to...
a great outlet. If they feel like
Yes.
they need to get out of the house to do something, painting with me is an awesome experience. I've had lots of testimonies and people, telling me how great of a time they had with me. And that's the most thing that I love the most, like when people accept and receive my delivery clearly with painting and the instructions throughout the whole night from beginning to end. As long as they have a good time, I think it's a win-win situation. Because at the end of the night, they get to take home their masterpiece and their memories that they make with downtime.
What's amazing, I saw with the pictures, the age group, like I was talking about, pay for you now. Monisi for you see the fear for the nenga luenga lo fire electrofina Diana. Over I need to And I said to myself, oh my gosh, if they can't do it, I could do it.
You can do it, boy!
And I was looking, and the other thing that I caught on was that the smiles on their faces.
Yes.
There's that genuine satisfaction, and I completed something.
Definitely.
And I said to myself, okay, maybe they didn't have any background in terms of artwork, but I see that all of them are enjoying what they're doing.
Yes, they are.
What do you... Okay, let's talk about the let's say if somebody who's watching wanted to do this for a birthday party for, let's say, a 9-year-old, and you know how rascals, how restless they could be with the paint and the paint brushes. Well, what's the difference between the older group and a group of young kids?
Right. So I will select the painting, and if I'm given the age group to work with, that will help me to select which painting I will do for this birthday event.
So you do that, like I see here. Ole fotato ay may pela na sa noale le sunga Diana. If fili mua ia le atsa for these groups, right?
Right. I select each painting because majority of these group they book with downtime as first time painters.
Okay.
So I will select the painting depending on their age group, and I will provide the instructions for them so that they'll understand.
So what would be a theme for a 9 or a 10-year-old group?
That would be a painting for a 9-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah, it actually looks hard, but it's very easy. A lot of them come to these events and they're intimidated, but like I said, I set the mood. I give them the confidence I need them to have in order to get through this painting.
You should be
a
teacher. E mana o mia e wa ole si fo ile ta ua fo o nei ta le ni. E na sa no atu le tofina Diana. O le o tama fai fo ile ia au mai matata ai mai ia nganga fo I maloto tangata ia o atu ai isi o matua I ngata ngata ai ole me e o fo ai pe un sauno atu to fine e a mata I fo e a mata fa atasi ia vasena nei ia ma uma fa atasi lava lato o le si fo I la mea e mana ai e uma lava ma e alu malau painting le fale
Yes.
so you get to take this and what a memento to remind you of the downtime. Why did you decide to come up with that name? Was it because of COVID or downtime, not lock time?
Well, to me, downtime is your free time.
Free time.
Downtime is your leisure time away from work, away from, all your obligations. It's for you to connect within yourself. And this is the perfect activity for it. If you haven't painted yet, book me ASAP.
Okay. Malola Diana. You mentioned something about, and I also like to emphasize the importance of culture values, church, and family values. You mentioned something about your Relief Society and how they encourage you to continue or to move on with this project.
Yeah.
How important is that nucleus or that core group in our society or community?
It's very important, especially with so many challenges that our youth are facing. I feel like if you have a good support system behind you and you have a passion, then you should emphasize that passion by pushing forward and sharing it with others.
Ole tāua fo le nā awa leo sau no atu le sumaya Diana. Ia, sa le mana au fo e whaasoa pe whaia le nei tua I ngā tāleni. Ia ai ole whautuanga fo ma tima inga fo mai le Lato Relief Society. Mo nei tina matutua. Ia lewa whaawawa ia le nei tāleni. Diana, let's talk about, we're going to do a show and tell, but okay, let me grab one of these. So let's say this is the party. We invited you to come, and so you give them the canvas, right?
Right.
So who does the mixing? We have the paint here, so
I will prepare everything before the party starts. So I get to your venue that you select. I get there about an hour and a half before the party starts. So I prepare the paint, I prepare the easels and the canvases. Everything's ready for them. All they have to do, show up, sit down, put their aprons on, and get ready for the instructions. So I paint along with them.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's like it's guided, huh?
Right.
So you'll have the bigger easel, right?
Well, right. I'll have an easel and a display of the painting.
Okay.
For them to reference while I'm explaining the instructions, as well as painting along with them, because some people receive the instructions better when they see it being done.
Yes.
So I do both, and I walk around.
Visual. They're called visual learners. People who sometimes they can't read or have problem reading, but they could communicate through something like this through painting.
Right. So I go step by step from beginning to end, and I go around to make sure everybody's on the right track. And if they see somebody making a mistake, then I just suggest what they could do to make their painting look
Pela le o tatu whaafonga mai. E mawhaila na e walau mai le tinaya Diana o lana numera lea fitu o iwalua o na tolu. Fitu o iwalua o na tolu. O lo o iai fo'i langa Gmail, po langa email address, downtimewithd@gmail.com. Ia, a whapea la wafua sau whāti fo'i mo sa walo. Ai mese fo'i se aso whanau mo se tangata matua. Ia, o le taimi lava nei te wala au mai ea Diana. Diana, you said that for the last couple of weeks, you only had one weekend to yourself.
It's been a very busy, but good busy 2.5 months. I just started these paint events in the beginning of June, And so many people have contacted me in order as far as booking. So it's been a lot of fun. I've painted with 19 groups so far, and I've
Wow.
painted with about 130 people. So another thing that I love most about this business venture is I get to meet and connect with so many
Yes.
people from all walks of life. Yeah.
You get to meet a lot of them. Let me have that one over there. If I'm morning Diana with the two birds. Yeah, ole fo ila wasa no atule sungai Diana. Elata malis pe se lau tolos food 130. Se lau tolos food tangata. Ya ai pe wa lata fo iles food wiva. Fala po potonga ya po groups fo ia na val audiena le to fine Diana mo feina nenga luenga. Diana, I know, this sounds so, encouraging, but what are some of the challenges that you face at the beginning of, because every small business, every new venture has a few challenges along the way.
Yeah. So at first I thought I'm gonna order everything off island and have it come in.
This was before COVID, right?
Yes,
No. Oh,
yes.
okay.
And so before COVID, I wanted to order everything off island. I didn't want to order anything here. But I noticed
Why is that? I hope you don't mind me asking.
You know what? I'm not sure. I just feel like the better quality off island, I can't really find the right paint that I want to use for these events. And so I realized that there's some challenges as far as shipping.
Oh.
Yeah. And I had ordered these easels over here that the red shoes are on.
Oh, I thought you made these.
You know what? I didn't make these. I ordered these through Amazon like 4 months ago. I just received it last week. But
Snail mail.
Good thing we also have another small business here on island who makes these.
Wow.
Are my colleague at ASCC, Patrick Mafoy.
Oh, okay. We need to get him on the show.
Yes, he's very efficient.
I think I bought. He's with Samoan Studies now.
He's with Samoan Studies.
Yeah, I bought
he's a cultural artist.
Yes, cultural artist. Okay, Patrick, I'm gonna call you.
So he
makes these.
Yeah, I just needed 6 for my first event, and he was able to make 18 of them in less than a week.
Yeah, what that to I foila ya le mana ya o le fo itu ina ta le ni wale fo wa mawai mai tangata na faiona fausia ya easel sa.
Yeah.
If I thought it to way lunga ya le pe le sunga le Patrick le fa along what way. Okay, so that was one thing was it got here late, huh?
It got here late, yes, and
the challenge there.
Right.
Oh, the shoes. Okay. Olesi for ilade watala no maile lisumaya Diana. So what about the canvas? This must be very expensive if you buy local.
Actually, I can't find that size here. I ordered these sizes from Amazon. I can get a good deal off of Amazon. Amazon has about 8 in a pack for maybe $24.
But if you find someone here on island who could.
And Patrick just told me he can make them for me. So I don't have to order through Amazon.
You create another avenue for somebody
else. Small businesses supporting other small businesses.
Ole tulama for ile fayona. Some fire for tato proclama. Yeah, basically have a name by tiny. Here see the fear for tato what to know. Yeah, well I don't think that's tough my to know. Ole tato what to know. Yeah, ma what uti for se le ni na tangata ye fayala to bisinisi. Yeah, ole si for ilaria ma to proclama. Ta lomo twai il tato what to know. And if I be on sa paya na luenga ne ya ta mai bisinisi. This is one of our messages during this program is to encourage our local people to continue to buy local and to support local artists and also the farmers, our local vendors. Ia, le lau tātou wa ai mai, o lau papa fo ila nei le fa mai Diana, e oka fo i fafo. Ai le fo ila wa mawhai na maua, ai fo ila se si e loa, whaile nei tu ai ngā lau papa, ma le canvas, they don't sell the canvas here, do I
They
thought
do
Ace,
at Ace. Yes,
okay, I
I've
remember,
been able to.
Reggie used to buy from the canvas from.
Yeah, so Ace has helped me out a lot with ordering my canvases. So I'm no longer ordering through Amazon.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Now you
ordering
buy
through
local.
Ace. Yes, I've learned my
Thank you,
lesson.
Diana. Yeah, o le si fo i lava na fo i whaatai atu i tātou whai pisinisi o lo sapsapaia pe i lātou ia pisinisi nā iti fo i tono tātou watanu. Okay, you can put this over there. Let me see the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, o mea umalava ne e o lai vali. So you have enough supply, right?
Yeah.
So you put that in the palette and then
Yep.
you pre-mix everything.
I prepare the palette with only the colors that we're going to be using
so
that night.
way you don't waste.
Right.
Yeah. You don't waste.
Like for that painting, I will not put all these colors. Yeah, so I just put black, white, and pink.
Okay. Diana, have you decided? I see here you have quite a few. I don't know if you were thinking of it or probably you were contacted other local stores here and you decided to market your paintings or sell them to stores?
Know what?
Okay.
Because once I started sharing online, so many people were messaging me if I was selling my paintings or if I'd be interested in selling them. But I wasn't confident that it was worthy enough for $1, but people were interested in having a little color on their walls. Color on the wall makes a huge difference for the room, definitely. So
maybe
I am thinking about it. We'll see how Downtime does, if it allows me the time to sit down and paint.
And I noticed that because I also did a show with Talani and with her soap and oil. She said, "Oh boy, I'm not interested in the money. Everybody needs money. It's just that, the passion. Talk about the passion you have for this kind of work."
Yeah, I didn't want to be stingy, and greedy and keep this passion to myself. It's too indescribable to keep it to myself. Yes. I wanted to share it with others, especially with COVID. I always wanted to go off island and go to a paint and sip business to participate in a paint and sip event. But why would I have to go off island? Why can't we do it here?
Yes. And the other thing that we wanted to talk about, Diana, is to encourage young people like you. I won't ask how old you are.
Please
I know you're older than me.
Okay.
But it's amazing that o te le lava leni mo tatou tupulanga talavou ia po tina talavou au le lava pi o Diana. You said something about sharing. O le sile me mana omia fo e tātou. Ai me se fo ia tangata matu e mana omia le whaasoa to tāleni. I remember the first time I tried to start my piano school, and Dad said, "Okay, boy, why don't you share?" So, yeah, I na whaasoa lava. Wa o le sina ngana fo tātou pokalama. E mawhaiona whaasoa atu. What is important, Diana, to you? Is it the money you'll get out of this, or is it the idea?
Although the money is, it's good money.
You don't have to be afraid to say it. We need the moolah.
Yes, I love the financial aspect of it, but the art healing aspect is,
I love
you
that.
can't get it anywhere else.
Art is healing.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be specifically painting. There's so many other crafts that people are good at. Cooking, carving. There's so many different arts, music, dancing, share it with others. Because
it's interesting. During the lockdown, we've seen a lot of sweet shops. Yeah. People are baking at home. people are doing all sorts of cookies, and in a way, it brings out the creativity in people.
Yeah.
While nga for it, if I've tied it to a 11 na lei se fa mai o manchatu tunu o the COVID is full river. Alo o mawape a wala e tangata talavo mal au fai pisinisi e fa so ai pe ala tu tale ni mo le tatu tunu mo va ai fo to te la volta tunu and this is tu plan talavo. We see a lot of sweet shops, people doing cupcakes. Cupcake is like, oh, it's the password now. Well, if you feel a tangata faya ya tuina tulanga fapi is it. Diana, we're almost done with our program here, and I'm so grateful that another artist is here. Talk about what advice would you give to young people? I know in the last 2 to 3 weeks it's been so hard with young people taking their own lives. What advice do you have for them that art, something like this, could heal them?
Oh, definitely. I just feel like art heals in a way that you can't find anywhere else. Like I said, when I started painting at home by myself, I would get this feeling of awesomeness. And if I'm feeling this awesome, there's a lot of people out there that are missing out. And so I felt like I needed to share this with others. It's a great outlet for you to just get away and see life in a different point of view.
Through a paintbrush.
Yeah.
What about, let's say, Poita, Portama, Politina, just a couple who wants to paint?
Yes, you will hear about it. Although I do have a limit. You have to have at least 6 painters. So you can have 3 couples come. But you will hear about events in the future. I plan on doing a couples night where they come together and paint one painting on 2 canvases. It's gonna be awesome.
Mana omia la leo tatu fa fonga mai. Mana omia le to ono tangata. To ono tangata tauna le group le ona faila ona the faina na luega le male to fine Diana. Ona se fe fo le vali ma so swani fo the final proclamation. Diana, do you see yourself as a professional?
No, absolutely not. I did not go to art school. I did not study art. I did not major in art. I majored in health and human services and business. So to me, this is sort of like a community service to service others in a way as far as art healing,
Okay, talk about art healing. I'm sure you've seen paintings by Ammon.
I love his paintings, and I've always wanted to go to one of his paint nights at Paradise Pizza. But I think he would always host it on a Friday night, and I wouldn't be able to get off work on time to make it out there.
But professional for
this is strictly a hobby. A hobby that I've grown to love and love to share. You
don't have to be a professional. You don't have to be.
I'm not a professional.
Picasso.
Right. You can feel like a professional when you paint.
Artisi wa leva na ofo o nga pe na ofo wa o le fai no ne kai na tu lana. Diana, I have one last question for you. What's your advice to small businesses today? With the threat of COVID-19, we don't know how long this is going to last. And then some people say, if you want to fight what's the use? But what's your advice?
I would say to be creative. Think outside of the box because COVID-19 can come and, shut everything down, but there's also the internet. You can always do your business online.
what percent of your business do you think is marketed through the social media? In
I would say about 80%.
80%.
The rest
80%.
is by
And
mouth.
I saw the news this week, and it's also with the teachers and kids going back to school. Well, what do you think the role of technology now with not only with small businesses? I mean, COVID just overturned everything, and
It
now
really
we have to
did.
relearn everything through
Yeah, it really did.
technology.
Well, I just think it takes time.
Mhm.
It's going to take time. They're not going to be able to do it overnight, that's for sure, but they need to be dedicated.
And we need to learn.
Yeah,
And
dedicated to
yeah,
learning.
learn for a while for wale for se whalai titi for ile te me whaia o ngā I tono potua o ngā o tatou ai for ile te leo o training se o whai nei mo whaia o ngā ia nisi for nuta metia o ngā whao ngā ina o le social media ia nisi for le interneti ia lea wa mo mai al tatou pokalama le nei tai au mata mo fie lava Diana. So we have special events, corporate events, private paint parties. Vala au mai le tua fine na ia Diana. O Diana foi whainga luenga kolisi. Ia ana o le weekend la ve mawai le nei ava noe whai ele nei ngā luenga. I'm so happy. I mean, I'm so happy that you're here because I remember you were so nervous.
I was.
Nervous the first time. Ya wa uma na le susira watsa. Ya ma ya lu ma la watsa le fale. Ole mana ia foi la le na ole nei pro kalama. America Samoa and this is for ila to o mo mai nei pro kalama I lunga au pena te fai langi. Ole tu fine na ya Diana Pelini ia manana company like tia nei lo tawati ai tono tatu watu no taua ole downtime ia e mawhai ona e wala au mai I le fitu o I valua o na tolu ia ma wala au mai a Diana o mea ngara nei e watu matua fine o lo ia vali ia o paint brushes e provide for Diana ia le easel ia ma canvas e whai ele nei ngā ruenga mo I lātou fo I o lo fia whai le wale ole to se pinko ia no nei tina fo ia lau aunties ma mamas ia nei se fo tātou tinifu ia sa au ni mai lera latu Diana e whai tātou party ia ma whai le tātou vali lea ia sa moai e ma whai rama na maua mai nei pro kalama I lunga o tātou website o le www.americansamoa.travel e mawhai fo ina maua I lunga o le Facebook o le American Samoa Visitors Bureau a whaapea fo e se fasili a se whautuanga fo ia pe te fia awai fo I tātou prokalama vala awatu tātou ofisa o lo I whangatonga o le Teddies of Samoa I le ono tolu I va valu o valu ono tolu I va valu o valu Samoa e loa foi se tenu o whānau sai e foi se upu ua sasi a se ana foi ua le tau tamari ia alofa whamangalo mai ma ua o le tamaitai nā po le tua fine nā ia Diana Pelini wa o nei o pue mangeo tua whā se fua.